Hello everyone. Hello Wombat. This is Saul again. I took yesterday off to record and I'm back here now. I was actually playing with editing over the past day or so, and like I was saying, I think this vdaw is basically functional, but I have to admit, it's barely usable at this point. There's a couple of bugs that are really preventing it from being a fun experience. And so we're going to try to fix those today. So I have a list here in my to-dos. Pardon me, I'm out of breath from going and fetching Wombat. Yeah, I know, you're not that heavy, buddy, but it was a long way downstairs. Anyway, the main issues that I was experiencing here, that I was having issues with. There's this one where when you're pressing play around an edit, it just basically repeats the same thing over and over again, just like a stutter. And that, yeah, that's not going to be workable. I want to be able to hear the audio, even if it's, around an edit point. Actually, even if it's on an edit point. So our whole mechanism for skipping cuts is busted. And I think that this audio play bug is due to this word timings being way off, which we'll have to fix, or I want to fix in a different way. We could possibly attempt that today. I may want another day or so to think about my general approach. Basically what I was thinking was we can look through the entire list of word timings, and when there's a stretch of words where they're all in a row, but there's one word in the middle that is way out of place, that word is probably wrong, we can at least take the timing out of that and leave it be an untimed word, or maybe we could find a different word in the same sequence that would fit better. That's my general idea, but I might not do that today. We'll see what I feel like. But yeah, that's that cleanup script that I'm mentioning here. And so the other thing is I kind of wanted some another feature here. Well, so first of all, the other big bug, or issue anyway, is that the duration is not correct. I made a bunch of edits to this. I've cut out a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh great, I think that I've made things tighter. And yet the duration on this screen is still 105, and I think I've saved. Have I saved recently? I haven't even touched it. So if I reload it though, it's still 105. And so something's not going right with the duration calculation or summation, something like that. I don't know. So that's the other thing I want to fix. Basically the duration should be good, and this audio play should be good. And if I could just get those two, I think I can do more editing that will feel more legit. And then if I want, and then here's this feature that I wanted to add here. So the idea is that sometimes, the timings are off, or I don't feel like going back to the actual audio to find the exact place I want to cut it. And so the idea is that I could actually type a word. I would say here, let's look at here, this guy here. So yes, atoms there are smallest amounts of matter, and today's. And I want to cut out and today's as part of this line, but it's not part of I'm going to cut that. But I don't want to have to press play on this, find the exact time, wait for it, and then press A. That's the timing-based approach. I want to just say split, however I want to do that, and then type in the word and, have it go, oh, I see, and will be the start of the next line, split into two lines based on that, and that'll be a nice convenient feature for that. So that would be very useful. It's not essential, but such a quality of life improvement that I think I should just do it. It's easy enough. So yeah, so that was the main things. Fixing these bugs, figuring out the duration issue, maybe implementing a feature, and yeah, I think that's going to be a good day for today. So let's get started. So let's see. I made one change, or a couple of changes last night. Let me fix those here. So one is that if there's an error during the socket send, this hasn't changed anything except for, I just have one little change here. So I'm splitting everything on a line basis. The idea is that I should be getting, if I'm getting multiple responses, they're going to be line based. So I'm going to look at each of the split lines and then load them separately and then provide errors for each of them. But otherwise, though, mainly I want to close the socket properly if we have an error. So I may have been leaking sockets, which may have been why if I left it running overnight, because it's every 100 milliseconds pinging for the playback time. And so if there's some error in there repeatedly, then it's going to wind up leaking these sockets. So I want that. Not for now. I added an isCut function because right now the row.cut could be none. Maybe even could be text. I just want to but I'm also transitioning to a thing where the cut is, the cut number, the cut level is negative if it's cut and positive if it's kept and 0 if it's unsure or none if it's unsure. So I just kind of wanted to make that be a more general thing. And I had it on the class here for a bit. And now I'm moving it off. Cut is a float now. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll keep it for the moment. And then I added a speed parameter. Oh, well, I was actually on, okay, sorry, several things here. One is that this modified thing, basically whenever we're doing anything on the sheet, automatically modified so that I can't just quit it accidentally. I made this one error being a debug thing. And then this check cursor, I'm not sure I want to check that in. I mean, I probably should check it in now and fix it, but I think the issues that we're having with the playback over an edit thing are very likely from that check cursor function anyway. And here I'm setting the property speed based on the speed that we already have. And then I had to have an actual property on the class that was speed. So, and then the speed change is not plus or minus, but always times. And so it's 0.5 and 2.0. And I had the command being, or I'm sorry, the execster as the command name, that was just bunk. And then bump row. Oh yeah, I'm changing this so that when you bump a row, an individual row with Y, it does not move the cursor. It makes, I guess, some sense. I'm not sure I like it with the D either, but at least with the D, it does that in the default VisitData case for delete. With Y for yank, it doesn't do it with VisitData. So I feel like that should at least be symmetric with how VisitData normally works. But also, I'm not sure that it's the right idea for these things to be moving the cursor down anyway. Even as I was using them, it's like, it's not right. Selection, ST and U are the ones that move up or move down automatically. And that makes sense to me. Like you're select. And you're kind of like, SSSS to get a whole region done. And then you can do GD to do all of the selected things. Like there's a nice pattern there. And having the individual commands move the cursor just feels kind of funny. So I think I'm going to keep that. Oh, then there was a bug and bump select, or a syntax error and bump selected. So those are my immediate commits here. I'm going to commit this. What did I say this was? This was cut, move to float, and speed bug fix is modified. Float, bug fixes, set sheet modified. Okay. So now we're going to deal with the skip cut segments and the bug in the audio play. Oi. Well, I'm embarrassed about this, but I think that I should at least show you or play for you what it's like. Document it for posterity, experience it myself. So if I go back in there, edit my transcript, and let's just go beyond the, I'm going to start playing this. Let's try a thing here. Here, I'll find something down here. Okay, and it doesn't matter. We're going to play this. I would love to know the answer to that. And then press pause. Seems fine. And then, and the timings were off, but that has to do, I mean, that's a function of, well, that's interesting. I don't quite know why the timing was that far off. I guess I could look into it. So I can do that now. Anyway, that's not the main problem. The main problem is if I press delete on this, I thought. No, it didn't work. Okay. Well, I thought that if I press delete on, or cut a
hydrogen, helium.
Helium. Very.
Huh. There we go. Okay. So that's what it sounds like. And I have to go to a uncut line and then press play, Shift P in order to play that exact line, then P again to halt it. So it's both a bad thing to get into and it gets stuck, and then it's hard to get out of, and then even the getting out of it, even if it was easy, is still 2.5 keystrokes, whatever. So that's not great. So I thought it was being on the line, but it looked like it was the line before the line. So let's try this again. So if I'm paused here, let's try pausing it here.
A little later too. I have some things to say about that.
And delete this one? No. Gosh, I don't know why I don't know which error it is that's doing it. But I guess overall it needs to be more robust in general. So let's go down to check cursor. Here's where we're at. We'll review this whole mechanism here now. So the idea is that, and what I've been trying to do, I've really been trying to do this with this exact coding project where I'm using it at night. I did make a couple of changes because they were easy, but I'm trying to stay in an editing mode and then tossing the bugs and other feature requests to my daytime self during these live streams to do the actual coding. Both because I'm not in the mood, well, or it's not the right time for me to do it, and I want to stay focused on editing stuff. But then also I want to try to maintain or keep a lot of this activity that I'm doing here for posterity. It's kind of actually nice to be looking at the live stream recorded videos and the time that I've been on the stream and saying, well, this is now episode 16, I guess, more or less. And that's about 20 hours of effort, maybe 25, probably not 30. And it's between 20 and 30 hours of work to get this to this point. And I can track that, and that's kind of nice. So in addition to having the whole thing documented so that anybody who wants to come by and sees exactly how this process went and all the different foibles along the way and the things we had to take diversions for. But okay, so I'm getting into this now here. We're getting the row for the playback time, and then we're finding from that row that we're supposedly on. We're supposedly on because when we're getting the row index, we're getting the first one. Okay. So here we go here. So the first row, which might be the row that we're on. In fact, when you see two blues at once, I probably should make it so that actually, you know what I'm going to do? The current row, I wish this was strike through. Can I use strike through? I don't think I can. But I do want the color DAW cut to be a lower priority than the playhead. Let's see if that does what I want it to do here.
About in mag cosmos,
Okay.
and then the mass of a proton is mag negative 27 kilograms. So an interesting fact about
Okay. So it basically got down here, skipped. Oh, and then well, wait a second. Why did that? That's interesting. It's like it's going back to the 752, but it's a different one here. So that's interesting. Why would, okay, well, let's go back. Why are we over here? While it goes from the current row to the end, and if not cut, if it is cut, then it keeps going. It keeps finding the, so basically if we're on a cut row, if the playback is on a cut row, which is the problem, actually, this is a huge problem, because we don't have a guarantee about where which row the playhead is on. It can appear to be on multiple of them. One of them could be cut. And if any of them are cut, then it's going to do exactly that, where it's going to be trying to move ahead, but then getting to the ahead, but then getting cut anyway. I guess that's what's happening. So we need something, like I said, more robust than that. And then if we reach the end of the list, there's no more cuts, we pause. That should never fire in our case, because we're not getting to the end. And if the row that we got to is not the one, then we start playing. Right, so if it's moving that, which it might be if you're on a cut. Okay, so this all makes sense. It's not I don't have a perfect picture in my head of why it's doing this, but I've got enough of a reasonable picture of how it's not good. Maybe we can make a better thing. So we want to maintain this so that, I mean, really it is about this. You play a thing and you want it to skip this stuff and play on from here. And yeah, we don't have perfect timings. Like for instance, this, you can see it starts at 9:08 when 9:08's way back here. So I think there's oh, it's the probably that's doing it. Okay, so this is where min might not be the right angle. And so I kind of wonder, I mean, there's a chance that a lot of my life gets easier if I implement the fixer that goes through every one of these and, like I said, even just removes the timing or the timing is off. And my theory is that some 20% of the word timings are off. And so it might still be a functional editor, and removing those 20% can make my life a lot easier with everything else. I still think this algorithm for skipping edits is going to be busted. So I got to think about that as well. But part of me is just tempted to make this little, I'll probably start as a command here where I'll just say, okay, clean up this row, and then I'll see if it works kind of interactively. And I can clean up all the rows, and that would mean that I can wind up saving it without any additional stuff. Like, it'd be nicer to have it be a standalone script, I think, so I could run the merge and this script, whether back to back or include this in the merge script. But at least, like I said, to start and verify that what I'm doing is correct, I would make a command here. So let's see. Let me, because I know that is I have an idea of this tactic. I have an actual vision, or I can see this. I think I'm going to start with that, even though I think it is a second order thing. So we're going to add a command, and it's going to be not reformat, but fix up, clean up, row timings. Maybe. Clean timing. And then it's going to take a row. One row, cursor row. A moment. I guess I can use C. It's not great, but I'll do it. And then clean timings with a row. And so this is just going to go over every every leaf word, I think. Yeah, of course. The only timings that I could set are on the leaf words anyway. So if I'm going to set it to none or remove them, then I have to do it there. So I think I'm going to make a little iterator. It's going to give me the leaves. So let me iter leaves, leaf nodes, leaf words of the row. And I think that's right. We're going to make a list of those. It's going to be leaves. It's not great, but let me see here. So we're looking for when the direction changes after several words in a row. It could be at the beginning or the end. And ultimately, I mean, I'm doing it on one line now just to test it out, but ultimately it's going to be work not just on multiple lines, but the entire file. So I'm probably making a single list of all the words and being able to scan them all at once. And so I'm not going to worry too much about things at the beginning or the end of a line. I'm going to try to fix the things that are in the middle of the line, because almost everything in the final case will be in the middle of the file. I think that'll work anyway. So let's see. Let's leaf words. Do I want to just iterate over it? I want to group them somehow? Pardon me. It's a Friday. I've been a little yawny today. So do I want to... Yeah. So I'm thinking I can either do a single pass over it, and then when I see a run of X words, and then see it something it's outside that run. And initially it should even be like just way outside the run, not even like honestly, it could just be removing non-monotonically increasing words. Is that the simplest thing here? If I look here, if I start, every word goes up, and this one 100 times, so okay. Interestingly, I see. This is the sub here. Okay, I got it. Look at the actual literal words. So boom, up, and then mag 2. I see. This is the same one down here. They swapped them. Okay. So this swapping is an interesting case. I could remove them both. And that would be actually probably fine for the moment, especially if I go back and then do my little interpolation thing from this other merge script and decide, if I have no timing for a word, but I know it's between two other words, like this 2 here, this one here, 7.5 and 7.8, and then the other word's going to be 7.65, like right in the middle, and then sure enough, it's 7.7. So I can at least fake that. That'd be reasonable. And similarly, I think the other one, well, this is where okay, yeah. So here's the issue. This is going to be 5.2. Why is this mag 5.2? Like this 2 makes perfect sense. That should be 6.2 up there. And this mag going back, 5.2. Huh. That's just wrong. I have no idea where it got that from even. Oh, you know what it could be? Could be that we've interpolated the timing, and this is one of those leftovers. Not that. Control Y. I don't think I have I had an annotation on there for which ones were still in, I thought I did anyway, still interpolated, maybe I didn't. So I could revisit that. But This doesn't get us any closer. The idea that I was getting at was that what if I just removed all the things that were not increasing? But that's going to remove this. Well, actually, it's going to keep the 2, remove all this stuff, even though these words are right. So basically, this 2, this is a forward-looking 2, is problematic because it kind of resets the clock, if you will. It's almost like you need like multiple words in a row to indicate the pace. Because everything down here, I don't mind this. Here you go. Well, the 6-2 is wrong, but 7880839092. Everything but this 6-2 is right, and so it's going to find a stretch and be like, oh, hey, check this out. In the middle of this stretch here, it's wrong. So I think a single pass might be too simplistic because both it's going to get tripped up here and then not know which ones to remove. Is that right? So maybe I take a stretch. Maybe that's what it is. I take a stretch of, I don't know, 5 words, 10 words, something like that. And then if there's a stretch of 10 words where only one of the words is out of place, then that's an easy one to remove. And we'll just do that over every 10-word sequence. I mean, I could try that. So I wouldn't even do that over a single row. Or I'll do it over a single row now. Let's try this. Okay, so we're gonna do for every group of 10 for I in range, and this is of the words. This is the leaves of the range of length of leaves. We're gonna make a chunk of these, which is from I to I plus. Let's just use 7. That's a good number. And after we get those words, I guess. So now we're gonna see how many are going up. Is that the right way of thinking about it? Let's just do this the stupid way here. For W in words, if the last start and I'll make sure that the start is not none because we're going to actually be using none or some equivalent as a sentinel for when we've taken it out, or it's not not a known timestamp. So if not start continue, I guess. If the previous start is greater than previous start, number of increases, guess. So this goes back down over a stretch. And I want to see if it's already greater than 2, let's say. That's 3 increases in a row. Then we're going to wind up clearing this. I'm just making stuff up at this point. I mean, I guess everything's just making stuff up, but man. Hey, why are you... Oh, it's only... Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's... Oh, and I have to implement this iterleaf words function here. So we're going to... For... If row.subrows before.data and yield 1. Otherwise, yield from for R in row.subrows, yield from other leaf words R dot R. Okay, so let's try this. And I think we're on C, right? So let's see here. If I collapse the entire intro. Okay, great. So here, I'm gonna run C on this guy. N increases, that's my own fault. I thought that I set that, but maybe not. N increases equals 0. Okay, I did not do anything. Well, let's at least do some statuses here. Clearing. Oh, I'm setting the start equal to none and end equals none. That's okay. So I think that it may actually even be resetting w.text. So there's a chance that okay, let's go in here and C 15. So it's found 15 words, which is correct, and it did not clear the time. And I think this is still wrong, but why not? So start is greater than previous start. Oh, I don't ever set previous start. Well, that's not going to work. Okay. Try it again. Clearing time for mag. Okay. So then it resets, which is kind of legit. Mag was an incorrect. What if we really? I thought that. Maybe I'm not sure this is actually the right thing to do. Yeah. Okay. So I think we can get away with this, but it should be actually data.start, data.end. Okay. And then it'll pick this up normally anyway here. This is going to screw this up. Because this word is so much after that, it really should be finding the odd men out. I like that I can dive into something though. That's pretty nice here. The word level timings. And then hello, why is hello ending at 5-2? I mean, the end. I'm just going to ignore the endings here, but that's wrong too. That just seems like it's an alignment, like the actual Whisper transcription or word delineation thing is wrong. I did wind up finding a different tool in I'm not sure if it was on Hacker News somewhere that I'm going to wind up trying. Either I'll put it together this weekend or I'll try it on Monday or something. But that's not here nor there for now. I just want to get the first order bits going on here. So how do I want to do this? Find the indexes that are out of place. There could be it's pretty clear. Let's see. If I just look at what's between what? Boop, 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 between that. This one's not between those two. So clear. What if it was just always 3? I would clear that one, that'd be legit. And then I keep going down, and I gotta skip that because there's not one in there. And then I look at this, this, and that one's not between those two, so I would clear that. I think we're closer for doing that. Between, well, that would clear mag and world. And then leave this one alone, and that'd be fine. This would be clear that, but that's legit. I'll clear that one too. It's almost like I want to sort by the difference between the two. Like if it's like 3 seconds off, that's a lot worse than being 1 second off. Yeah, here we go. So if I look at this here, how do I know? Oh, I see. If it's in a triplet here, if the time is before the first one, then it should be cleaned out, I guess. And if it's after the second one, then the second one should be cleaned out. Having a hard time visualizing the right algorithm to deal with this here. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I think I'm alone on the stream here, so if I'm wrong, I would love it if people said, hey, roll call, I guess. It's also fine if I am. It's still good for me to be here and talking through the problem and leaving this for posterity. And Wombat's here with me, so I'm not ever completely alone. But anyway, if anyone's here, love to say hi to you. Okay. So let's see. I guess I could try it with 3 and try out my little theory. It seems pretty simplistic and like it wouldn't generate not so great results. And maybe what I should do, actually, I probably should do here is write a little separate little script that does this, that has a function, and that tests out what I'm going for. So I took these exact numbers here, and so I'm going to select all these, GZY. I'm going to try making a experimental vdaw cleaner script. Like that. And if I've got these numbers, this is my times. And my gold times. So the idea is that I want to get the ultimate correct answer is none. Okay, so that's the So there we go. I'll just make this straightforward here. Okay, so let's write this function, this cleaner function, with this list of rows times. Well, I guess I can at least play with the algorithm here without having to load a visit it every single time. Okay. So have this algorithm here. Let's, at least for the moment, well, I don't know if I want to even use this. I think we're going to just run through it. Yeah, we're just going to clean this up here. Okay, so times okay, let's try that. So we're just going to actually do I to I plus 3. That should be 3. I don't know, whatever. So if t, let's try t0. Sorry, if t1 is less than t0, then clear t1. That's not gonna be great. Mm-hmm. Ret I plus 1 is none. In the case that the second one is less than the first one, if the second one is greater than the second one, the third one rather, then we actually, wait. We said if it was less than the first one, well, I don't know, let's find out. This might have been I, and this is I plus 1, but maybe we can't know. Let's just see what this does. This is in the poking around phase. As long as I don't spend too much time in here, should be okay. Oh, because it might be the end of it. -2. Well, you're going to have to show what they are. Oh, we're actually getting everything but the 5.2 because it's now, okay. Interesting. Oh, and it screwed up a 7.5 and it should have moved to 6.2. Okay. So this is not what I want, which I've kind of figured. It's really hard to get this working with a peephole of only 3 elements. What is the right answer here? This is where I do wish I had had a little bit more, had given this a little more thought before I got on this live stream here, because this is like Bath territory, right? This is where you wind up just kind of poking around in your head, noodling, relaxing, letting your subconscious take over. And then you have an idea, eureka, in the bathtub. And then implementing it is, at that point, straightforward. So I may go take a bath here in the next 20 minutes if I can't get a reasonable foothold here. Because, yeah, there's, like I said, there's, well, and I don't want to get too distracted here, but there are the multiple things. There's this one, we could be doing the word timings cleanup, which I think would really help this, but maybe I can just get the audio player on the edits to not be stupid. That would be a big help. And so maybe I actually just, and also, you know, honestly, like I said, the cleaning up this transcript would be very helpful, but it's not the end solution because I actually want to be able to play an edited sequence. So it's really only on the transition from something that is legit, an uncut thing, to a cut thing that matters. And even then, yeah. It's like we should be recognizing that we're entering into cut territory. So then change it, but it shouldn't be based on, yeah. I kind of need both at once to be able to handle this. So let's see here. What's my general strategy? If I let's see here. Over here, check cursor. It's this get row index by playtime. That's the real insidious one because it's kind of like, it's kind of stateless, right? It's checking to see what rows have the playtime in it and picking the first one. But it needs to be just moving up. It's like, it should never be going back. Maybe that's what I'm getting at here. There should be like a, whenever you reset the play row, it should reset this. But otherwise, yeah, I think there's just a current playhead row index. Play index. And when we set the audio to playing to it, play audio, well, that's here, and then, okay, that's different. That's this one. And this is just going to set it to play index, is that what I called it? Okay, and this one is where I'm going to fix this. So basically, if we're not at the original row index, I think that's the wrong idea. I think it should be, if it's discovered that I is greater than the current playback play index, then it will jump there. Maybe this will get us at least out of that exact issue. I'm just gonna turn this off for the moment. Don't use it. Okay, so if I play through this here.
Let's talk about the smallest atom. Do you know what that is? The smallest atom?
Oh, it didn't skip it at
I'm
all.
sorry, do you know which one? Which atom is the smallest atom?
Talking like mass?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but,
Okay.
Either.
So this isn't cutting at all. Okay. Which is, I guess in some ways it's better, but only because the other paper was so terrible. So it didn't, it's greater than the play index. It should be starting from, not the, it should be starting from the current one. Max of these. Right?
Let's try it. Are we recording? Let's talk about the smallest atom. Do you know what that is? The smallest atom?
Huh. Well, that seems like it should have worked, huh? So, unless it's, no, that's gonna be fine. Let's get in the playback time. Max, here. Oh, look at that. The blue there, the highlighted blue bits. So, it's not even gonna, smallest atom. That's the play index. But it's, oh, it's just atom, I think, is what's covered. It's doing that. Yeah, the word atom, I guess. Getting the first row index, the first one, the max, that's the current play index, which is that. Oh, so it's, okay, starting from there, and then while, okay, so then it's getting the hero and not cut. If not cut, if it is cut, it needs to bump it. That's what we're doing. Oh, I see. Okay, it's just not doing anything because it hasn't gotten up there. It needs to start with from I plus 1. No. Yeah. This is how this interplays with the thing. Well, I have to say that I think it might be, it's 3 o'clock, spending an hour screwing around with this stuff. I think it might be like a generalized bath time concept. I'm not, apparently don't have the right angle into this for the moment. So I'm going to head off of the live stream for now, me and Wombat. I don't think anyone's been here, so this is fine. This live stream may not survive the edit publishing sequence, but I'll leave it up for the moment. Anyway, if you have any ideas about how to do this stuff, please let me know. I'd love to hear from anybody who was listening along. I mean, if you made it this far, it's amazing. I'd be surprised if anyone's here. But otherwise, I will see you either tomorrow or Monday. Cheers, everyone.